This episode of the Haunted Road Trip Show is brought to you by Studio One Vasie Pilates. To claim your free gift now, check the show notes.
Welcome to the Haunted Road Trip Show, where we bring you powerful conversations, insights, and exciting site investigations that reveal the paranormal world in a way you've never seen before. Prepare to have your thirst for curiosity satisfied.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Haunted Road Trips Show. Here you are with me, Tracy St. Croi, and I am so freaking excited to have this next guest back again. Yes, she said yes once again. I have Madame Zee with us, guys, and she and gals, and however else you prefer to identify yourself, she is a fabulous psychic. She's a wonderful, like one of the best tarot readers I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of tarot readers.
Yep.
She is a witchy woman. She is a paranormal sister. She is, and she is back again, y'all.
So glad to be here. Thank you for having me back.
Yes.
Always so fun. Always so fun to sit and chat.
Yes, you never know. We were chatting right before the show, and we just turned it into having a spirit box session. I built my own spirit box through the wonders and the powers of YouTube.
My favorite. I love it.
I know. You can always rely on YouTube to show you how to make almost anything, everybody. So we were just, I was just showing her that, and her grandfather happened to come through and give her some messages. So,
yeah. He showed up. A couple other families showed up. I hadn't talked to him in a while. So he hasn't, that's probably the first time I ever talked to him. Because he was a man of very few words.
Well, he seemed very excited to be able to talk to one of his favorite granddaughters.
Yeah.
You know, today we have her back again, folks, and I loved having her on last time. Scroll back, and she's back there on the episodes, but now today she's got a lot more going on, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But she's here to talk about all things spooky because you guys, she's a spooky gal. She's set up paranormal retreats before in the past, and probably going to be heading towards that in the future. And we're just having fun. So tell us, Madame Zee, what have you been up to? What's going on?
Oh my gosh, been up to everything. What haven't I been up to?
How's the weather?
Oh my gosh. So I'm in Missouri. So a little town outside of Kansas City. So not that far from Kansas City. And it is snowing right now. So it's been a challenge. It's been kind of a rough winter. I'm not used to it coming from Texas. So I'm having to learn how to drive in the snow, which is kind of scary.
No. And everybody's flying by you at like 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. And they'll like pull off in front of me and I'm like, I'm going like 10. They're like, what is wrong with you? Yeah. I'm driving so fast.
Oh man. I can relate to that. And you live in like a haunted house yourself, right?
Yeah. Although she has calmed down a lot. So when I first moved in here, we bought it's a 1906 Craftsman style. And it used to be, this town is extremely haunted. If I could turn this town into a paranormal destination, it would be fabulous because this town is extremely haunted. We have what we call a psychiatric gore museum. If you want to Google gore museum, it's the only psychiatric museum that they have, and freaking fabulous. So where my house is at now was part of the land or the farm of the psychiatric hospital.
Oh, wow.
Because they used to, the inmates and well, it's an inmate now because it's a prison. But part of it is they used to farm their own land and grow their own food. So before it became a subdivision, it was all farmland and part of the psychiatric hospital. And the main road, which is now is Frederick, it used to be called Asylum Road. So this town is
You knew where you were, right?
extremely haunted. And it's the home of Jesse James, where he got killed, and the home of Pony Express. And so we go way back, way back. This town does.
Wow.
So, if anybody watches the what is it? The Golden Age, Gilded Age. That's exactly how this town was. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All those mansions and houses, and yeah, it was extremely wealthy town.
So when you say your house has calmed down, do you think that the ladies that haunt that place were kind of like, okay, now we don't have to do so much work because Madame Zee is here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. When I first moved in, when I first walked in, you kind of get a feeling, the house is yours anyways, because you're like, this is my house. But she would show up, and I know what she looks like. She's this older woman, very much a motherly figure. And she had gray hair, and it's all pulled back nice and in a bun. And she had an apron on, which is, so she was always working, which is odd because the person who I researched and know it was very much they had a maid. So I don't know if she really worked in the house, or she just was very much like, this is what you need to be. She probably had little spurts of working, or maybe she did work and just didn't want to raise the kids. I don't know. But she showed up more when I first moved here than she does now. So it's almost like she was an overseer of, hey, this is my house. How are you going to take care of my house?
Right.
So, and it's very interesting when I got this house, how much of a homemaker I came. So it's almost like her spirit just embodied me. I started making breads and pies and gardening and I've never really done that before. I've done it, but not to the extent how I want to do it now. So I have to do it. So it's different. So definitely had a say so in who came into the house and who bought it and how I run her household.
And so she's definitely inspiring you, huh?
It is. And we have a ghost cat. So he shows up every now and then, yeah. So I got cat toys for him because it's a 3-story house, basement, the living, and then the upstairs. So I thought about, well, if I use the cat balls, I'm not going to be able to see the cat balls go off if I'm upstairs. So I wanted to get the ones with the bells. So I put some cat balls out. So if I'm upstairs, I could hear them, or if I'm in the living room, I could hear them. And every now and then it'll go off, but he's never really manifested. He's very fast. You'll see him at the corner of his eye. And a lot of times they're like, oh, I thought Luna was in the kitchen. And I'm like, no, Luna is sitting right here by me. So it's the cat.
You have a real physical cat, and then you have a spirit cat.
Well, yeah, Luna's my dog, but she's tiny.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So we used to think it was Luna, and then we're like, no, Luna's sitting by me. So why did I just see this cat just run by? So, and I'm not the only one who saw it. My friends have seen the cat too. So, yeah.
So it just goes to show you, like entertain the spirits that are there. Like,
yeah,
give the cats that. You're helping the woman who used to be the lady of the house by keeping her house up and keeping what she, deems proper.
Yeah. This house is a living house. It has personality, and if you don't do what it wants it to do, it doesn't. It'll tell you.
No, I can completely understand that on there, and I love it that you live in a very paranormally active house.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm glad I don't. Like, I don't want paranormal activity. Like, my loved ones, they'll come in, do things and stuff like that. But I'm like, I don't need non-relatives.
No, it's not negative at all. But
Right.
and you always have the sense of someone's watching you, even though she may not materialize. And then it's interesting because when you walk up to the second story, there's like a landing, and then you walk in like a big sitting area, and then you walk into the master bedroom. Well, I always leave the door open, but when you lay in the bed, you can see down the hallway into the stairwell. And you always get this feeling that there's someone standing there watching you all the time. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and just sit up and just look at that hallway. And then I'll go back to sleep all the time. So I don't know what, and it's a male. So I don't know who that is, but he's never manifested. It's just a feeling.
Wow. Now that would creep me out. That I would be like, okay, we need to come close around the circle and have a talk. Because
Right.
like, I need to know, A, what is your intent? And B, we need to not do the creepy looking over me while I'm sleeping at night thing. Like, no.
No, sir, not today.
Exactly. If you want to watch over the house, that's great. But don't like literally watch over me like my cat.
Right. It's very creepy. But he doesn't bother me. So I don't know. And I don't even know if he's attached to the house.
He feels like he's attached to the neighborhood, not the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got right away. I was like, I think this is somebody that lived there for a long time and just is, like a caretaker type.
Yeah. Yep.
But still, I'd be like, look, I know you're trying here, but
I'm good. I got it. Go on.
Like, you want to watch your house, that's fine. But the whole sleeping thing, and I got boundaries around this.
Yeah, he only comes out at night, like that song. Freaks come out at night. But yeah, he only comes out at night. So she's during the day and he's at night. So
do you have a name for him? Any of your spirits, do you have names? Nothing?
No.
I would totally have to name. I'm big into naming all kinds of stuff. Everything from, plants to ghosts to every pets, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Everything has to have a name.
It has to.
But I think that is absolute. I think it's so fun. So I do, I want to go down that rabbit hole in just a minute. So, because I'm always interested in seeing how readers are in their own homes when they have tarot and they have oracles and they're working with Ouija boards and things like that. And then they also have a spirit of the house that used to live there, back in the day in the early 1900s or whenever she does. Do you ever get any pushback from her? Or do you ever get any kind of is she curious, or do you get that sense around her?
Pushback as far as what? Like she's not
like, what are you doing with these tarot cards? What are they?
Oh, her? No, nobody, no, which is odd. But, and which leads into, why I'm shifting a little bit as my business is because, the early 1900s, late 1800s, they were big spiritualist people. Big. And that's kind of where my business is going toward that way. But I researched her and I researched the house and the owners of the house. And she was very much into women's rights. And so he was too. He was very much into women need to vote. So he was big into women's rights and, they need to vote and supporting that and making it known in the newspaper what his thoughts were about that. So it's very interesting. I don't think I could ever be in a house where it was complete opposite, where the woman was supposed to stay at home kind of thing. So we vibe that way for sure. And he made his views very well known in the town through newspapers and interviews. And he went to church here. And so, yeah, it was not he lived out loud what his thoughts were about women's rights and votes and, suffraging and everything. So
No wonder that house was perfect for you and your husband.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we both are activists in that area for sure.
Yeah, I always get very, very curious because sometimes when I'm doing paranormal investigations or I'm doing house parties for people, sometimes spirits are like, what is that? What do you, wait a minute. They get really curious about it.
No, they don't. It's almost, they kind of stay away. They never really showed up. See, I've started, if you can see it right there, this is one of my altars. This is my Lilith altar. But right there is my black scrying mirror. So I do a lot of scrying. Yeah.
And you guys, you're not watching this on YouTube. It looks like something straight up out of Cinderella. Or no, it's Snow White.
Sorry. Snow White. Yeah.
I'm not up on my Disney stuff. I'm sorry, you guys.
And so a lot of and I've got a couple of different scrying mirrors and stuff for scrying. Not so much mirrors. I've been doing a lot of scrying on slate. So yeah,
kind of like old-fashioned chalkboards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then this one it's like a big chunk of slate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, because I bought it from a practitioner, she makes her own, and she put, it looks like resin on top of it.
Okay.
So it reflects. Half of it's resin, half of it's not. So you can reflect and do the scrying off of that part of the resin. It's very powerful. And she's like, I picked that slate myself and polished it and everything. So I try to buy stuff from practitioners. And so that's another form of scrying. But yeah, they never really show up when I do stuff. I never feel them around when I do, witchy stuff. So I don't know if they're into it or not.
I think that's cool right away, because whenever anybody's doing their meditation or communing with spirit or whatever it is, we should always have our boundaries, our privacy, feeling like we can, do what we need to do and how we need to do that on there. I'm not envious of the haunting, but I love the history of your house. How about that?
Yeah. It's interesting. And he used to, she didn't really work. She was a stay-at-home mom. Well, back in the day, I suppose, I don't know why, but they had a couple maids. One got married and come back, and then, went off and did their own thing. And they had two boys, and they went off and fought in the war. And one was a big, well-renowned war hero. He worked at Quaker Oats, is what we know, Quaker Oats, because Aunt Croi. Yeah. So he was the business office manager there. So he managed all the money. So he was a big, wealthy person in town. But Quaker Oats was invented here. Aunt Jemima pancake mix was invented here. So he worked for that company who invented it. So a lot of history here. So you can drive down there and you can see where the factory is at, where he used to work at.
Wow. I love it. You got all that history, and the history of the house and the hauntings and all of that kind of thing. So you want to talk about a haunted place that not many people know about?
Yeah, I like it. I like the ones that are very unknown. Like, I would love to be able to go into a haunted house and be the first ones to investigate. I still have yet to do that.
Yeah. I would love to. I am very interested in the place that I'm about to tell you about, because I think that there has been some publicity done about it, but not a whole heck of a lot. And it's one of these places, when I was reading about it and doing some research, I was like, there is a lot more than meets the eye here. And either A, people really haven't had a chance to investigate properly here, or two, they just don't want to talk about it. Because I'm like, a place like this. So let me just transport you, Susie. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. We're going to go to a place called Hot Lake Hotel in Hot Springs in Oregon. Okay. right? The Oregon. Yep.
Oregon Trail. Mm-hmm.
We are right there. And it is a hot lake. It is a geothermal hot lake.
Road trip.
Yep. That the Native Americans used as like a healing center and for, respite, either when they got sick or, between battles and things like that. And 1840, a developer came along and put a hotel there, right? Started growing over the, as the industrial age and the Gilded Age started to kick in, more and more got added on to it. And then especially when the railroad came there, I think it was in Pacific, more and more people started to be able to have access to that. Well, fast forward into the early 1900s, a doctor named, of course, check this out, Dr. Dye. Okay.
Let's say Dr. Dan.
And his name is Dr. Dhy. And I said, "You're Dr. Dye." I said, "Oh, I know this is heading in the right direction, right? What could go wrong?"
Exactly. Yeah.
So he stepped in and he, bought it, and he turned half of the place into a hotel from what it was, and then used the other half, which I believe was the third floor, as a hospital and surgery center, and experimented on people who had ailments using the waters and experimental treatments.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to get the giddy boogies about him and his intentions. And I was like, because not many people back then raised their hand to be like, yeah, let's have some experiments done.
Oh, yeah.
On us. Now, what I do know is that probably a lot of maybe people who didn't want to deal with family members one way or another, husbands who are done dealing with wives, or, whatever it was, they might have turned them over to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think the most interesting part is he kept running it as a hotel.
You can check in, but you can't check out.
Right. And it was like hotel and sanitarium. And it was like, like, no. Like,
it's an all-inclusive resort. For the mentally ill.
Exactly. It'll be your final resting place, right? Exactly. And and I don't like to do too much research on these places, because if I happen to go there and do paranormal investigating, I don't want to know all that much.
Same. Mm-hmm.
Well, like all good things, we have to come to an end. And in 1934, like a lot of buildings, they succumbed to a fire. A massive fire broke out.
Yep.
But luckily, they had built a lot of it out of brick, so some of it could be saved. From there, it was a pilot school, a nursing training facility. And then in the 50s, it's turned into a nursing home / asylum for those in need. We know what that meant.
Yep.
Right? And that stayed in I don't know what you want to call it, business or open, until the mid 70s on there. And I'm like, so it was already an experimental health facility. Then you're moving into assisted living, retirement, whatever nursing homes, however they categorized them back then, / insane asylum.
Yep.
Nothing could go wrong here. Nothing. No. Hot springs water,
Exactly. It's good.
This isn't a paranormal hotspot.
Mm-mm.
And I think that it lost its funding. I couldn't really find the exact reason, but it closed down. Then it was bought, and it was turned into a couple bars and restaurants, an RV park. Yeah, multiple things have tried to come in there and revamp place on there.
Mhm.
It is today up and running, and it is a fully running hotel, RV park. I think that there are some shops there, but from what people are saying here at this Hot Springs Hotel is they hear a lot of screaming coming from the third floor where the surgery center used to be.
Mhm. Yep.
Chairs that rock by themselves. People report all kinds of orbs, doors rattling, seeing spirits from a lot of different times walking around the property, from assuming that they could have been either, patients there at one time to workers that worked there, whispering, piano playing, because apparently one of the owners, his wife, brought in a piano to play, all from everything here. But the owners now, they're not too keen, from what I've been reading, on having paranormal, having been known for a paranormal hotspot there. So my question is, would you go there? What do you think?
Oh yeah, I'd go there.
Yeah, I think it's more than meets the eye there.
I think so too. Yeah, because anytime you have any experimental stuff, and especially, how am I supposed to say this? Mental illness, and just the energy around that, it's always going to be residual.
Yeah.
You're always going to have something going on. I talked earlier about the Gore Museum, and it's funny you said that we're talking about an asylum.
They also have a museum there too, a museum with old medical equipment. Yeah, and I forgot about that. Yeah, they still have a lot of the old medical equipment, everything from the past. They still have this huge museum there, apparently.
Oh yeah, you gotta go then.
Yeah, I'm like,
you're talking about chairs rocking by themselves. So, and I'm sure he did this too. Back in the day, they had what they called rocking therapy, and you would sit in a rocker and you would just rock all day long, and that was part of your therapy. So I'm sure when those rockers go off by themselves and they're rocking, that is a patient doing rocking therapy. It's a thing.
Oh yeah. I can believe it, because when I was reading that, I really wanted to get in there, because I kind of felt like a lot of I felt like the spirits that were there needed help understanding a little bit of what was going on, because there was too many kind of layers of time. And that, especially the ones that passed due to mental illness or, whatever was going on, they might be need some direction on what's happening here.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was fully convinced. I was like, they're not talking about a graveyard here. And I wonder if there's some plots on that land, on those lands.
I'm sure there is, unmarked. Because we have some at the asylum. And it's in the back, and you can go there. There's 200, I think, but it's kind of sad. Nobody really visits there, and it just has, they're just numbered, just the graves. And some of them not even have headstones anymore. They're washed out into the little creek by it. But yeah, they're whenever there's an asylum, there's always a graveyard. You just got to find it.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, you can't tell me that,
because you ain't getting out.
There's a potter's field around here somewhere.
Absolutely. Because you didn't go to those places to get well and get released.
Yeah, like nobody ever, like
especially the women. No, you ain't ever getting out.
Nope. You hit perimenopause and that's it.
Yes. Like, your husband has a mistress on the side and he has no use for her anymore. You're deemed crazy.
Yep.
And you have to go to the asylum.
Yep. And that's what I was like. I was like, so these kind of, and this place, I'm like, this is like, you know, how to make a haunting 101.
Oh, I know, right? You have water.
Hot water with hot mineral water flowing on sacred land that somebody stole.
Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, yeah, for me, there's, because I've done a lot of research, there's Trinity. There is industry, there's railroad, and there's water. A river or something has to, of water, a body of water, a river, something has to run by those, that haunted. That's the Holy Trinity for me.
Well,
that makes a really good haunting.
Yeah, you got your Trinity there.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely do. And it's set on the side of mountains as well. It looks like directly up to mountains. So I'm like, okay, you got earth, you got water. You've had a massive fire here.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had a lot of injury and a lot of death and dying. You can go there. From what I read and understand. Well, hello. We have Leo here, my big cat that just jumped up on my desk. And you can go there and you can visit. They do still have, from what I understand, a working RV park to be able to go in there and do a little bit of investigating. But
I just need to buy an RV and just an haunted RV or road trip haunted RV. Just go around all these different places.
Man, I would love to check this place out because it looked really posh. Like, as far as like somewhere to go to stay, it looked very well kept for the history that's been around it. I would totally go there if given the chance. The RV park, I didn't really get a look at it. It just kind of was like, there it is, way over there in that over there. But like, I suspected that that place needed some good old fashioned like, it just needed its stories told. Like, it almost was like, please talk about me, please talk about it. Don't, let us be remembered and let us be known here.
Mm-hmm. And that's really what spirit communication and paranormal investigation really is.
Yeah.
Telling their story.
It really is, because even though I tell a lot of people, I was like, even though when our loved ones, go to the other side, however you want to, state it, go to the veil, whatever, on there, they still miss us too, just as much as we miss them.
Mm-hmm. They're having a better time though.
They're having a different type of time. They're like, yeah, sorry, kid. You got a couple more years left where you're at. But they still miss us, and especially ones that sometimes just need, I'd like to say they just need a little bit of therapy. They need somebody to listen to them, to understand them, to let them know what's going on, give them some a little bit of guidance.
Yep.
Help a spirit out. Yeah,
I know. What is this white light, and why does it keep following me?
Yes, and I'm telling you, but yeah, Hot Lake Hotel and Hot Springs is now on my radar to get to. I really, really hope that on there. So that's my ghost story that I wanted to talk to you about, to see about your spidey senses. Were they kicking in just like mine were?
Oh, yeah. It would be, even if I'm so bad. I do paranormal investigations on the sly. I don't even have to book it and say, oh, we're going to have a paranormal team. We're going to, because a lot of places like that don't. They're just like, no, we're not open to that. So I'll bring in like 2 or 3 paranormal investigators, or it could be just by myself, and I'll just book a night and I'll just do paranormal investigation on the slide by myself.
I think that's the videos that I saw online about this place. I was like, yeah, I think that's exactly what they're doing, is they're just kind of renting, and then they're going in there and doing their own thing, but not being obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
Yep. But when you saw the inside of this place, some of it is very much like Shining Hotel, creepy.
Oh yeah, I got all.
Yeah, you can tell this place has she's been around for a minute.
She's seen some shit.
She had seen some shit and they tried to burn her down. She came back.
Yep. You ain't ever getting rid of me.
No, as much as you try. But I was like, wow, when I was first discovered that story, I was like, I would love to be able to get there.
Mhm.
And just kind of figure some things out. So yes, that is my friendly ghost story for the month. So tell me, what are you going to be up to as far as like, are you hosting classes? What's going on with you?
Any kind of classes. I'm retiring most of my classes and I'm putting them all on study at your own pace.
Okay.
So I have classes on witchcraft, tarot, spell casting, altar work, ancestor work, spirit communication, candle magic, all of it. And it's pretty much on demand. But I'm working on getting them into, I used to have a school on Teachable. I took that down because I'm going to try to put it all on my website. But I'm transitioning from that platform to another platform. So if anybody is interested in classes, just shoot me a message and I'll give you an arsenal of what I have. I have everything from basic stuff, basic witchcraft, basic tarot, all the way up to the more advanced stuff. And I think the more advanced people really want to. But I'm going to be writing a book that is a mashup between tarot and recipes.
Tell me about that.
Now I'm excited about that. It is, and it has tarot spreads. So every card will have the meaning of the tarot card, and it will have a recipe that goes along with the energy of that tarot card. And then you'll have a tarot spread that goes along with that also. So it's going to be the wheel of the year. So you will have, I don't know, for instance, I have the death card. So I'm going to make like a devil's food cake recipe, right? So whenever you, or a lava cake, I hadn't decided which one recipe I want to put in there yet. So whenever you are if you're a baker, if you're, a foodie, and you want to get into the energy of the death card or the devil card, pull out the book, say, hey, let's go make a recipe. The recipe is already there. The meaning of the tarot card is already there. So you can dive deeper into the energy of what that the tarot card is through food. So you can make a whole meal out of it. It's going to be associated with the wheel of the year. So you're going to have, like, the sun is going to be probably a citrus summer salad, something like that. So you can really dive into it. And then there's also going to be tarot spreads to dive deeper into the wheel of the year, Sabbats and stuff. I just started a mediumship group. Yeah. It's called the Black Veil Society. Nice. So I'm working on the ins and outs of what that's going to look like. We're going to be teaching classes, but then that's probably going to be the first tier. But if you want to become a member, then that's going to be a different tier when we actually do practice. But it's old school. It's old Victorian seances. Spiritualist, the cable dipping, that kind of thing, the seances, that kind of stuff. Old school practitioners. So it's called the Black Veil Society. That's in the works. And then I'm going on a paranormal investigation to Scotland, and I'll be writing about that.
Yay! And hopefully, as we talked about earlier, maybe even more.
Yes.
So do you want to play a game?
Sure, let's play a game.
Okay.
What's it going to cost me first?
Huh?
As it wasn't going to cost me before I say yes.
It's not going to cost you. But hold on. Technology worked my way. Let's go ahead and we're going to play Book It or Book It. You remember this from last time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Instagram, I don't know what was going on, but it was acting real funky for a minute. So hopefully, I am going to be able to pull up these little this little tab right here. All right.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay. We are in Belgium. And we are on one of my favorite Instagram sites, Cheap Old Houses, you guys. You can find this listing on there. It looks like it's Willebroek, Belgium. And it has it's listed for $423,500 here. And we are dealing with, let's see, I don't know. It doesn't say how many rooms, how many bedrooms, but if you want a unique house, this is very interesting. I don't even know how to describe this, Susie.
I know it's like a mishmash of all different Art Deco on the side kind of thing, and
this like curved brick. Yeah. This like curved brick, and I don't know if that's a garage at the bottom or like French doors or like
where they hide all the bodies.
Yeah, it says that the house is a total work of art by artist Hakis Odolon. I totally butchered that, but you can read the listing on Cheap Old Houses to get this whole thing. So I'm gonna go inside, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's got to be spooktacular on the inside. There's got to be some hood and knocks.
Yep.
There's got to be, because up at that top curved part, I'm like, ooh, I would love that to be my lookout room.
The turret.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now that is interesting. Now we are looking at a room that seems to have arched French doors with very gorgeous stained glass on them.
And that looks Art Deco to me.
Yeah, very Art Deco-y looking room. If I didn't know that this could be a house, I would swear it looks like a fancy room in a museum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Interesting 2-level staircase, which I kind of get. This house is empty, girl. Like, it's like...
It just wants to have a seance in the middle.
Yes. Oh, look, you can even see the cobwebs. Yes, this house, I knew it is needing of some loving, y'all. There is definitely some spirits here. I get about, there's definitely some old school ones here. I don't know why, but I feel like I have that younger kid energy in the house still.
I'm going to pull a card.
Okay, pull a card.
The cobweb cottage is what we should call it, or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see who comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that staircase.
Yes.
I think there's a couple of deaths in there, though.
Yeah. It's definitely a house that has been lived, but it needs to be loved.
It's
got cobwebs everywhere.
Got the 4 blades, 4 swords.
Wow.
Yep, there she is. So, remember I said that there's someone in there? It's a female, Queen of Wands.
There you go. Ooh, look at all them cobwebs, girl, everywhere in this house. Holy bejesus, if you like cobwebs, this is your house, ladies and gentlemen. That kind of looks like creepy bathroom with that tile, that orange, yellow tile. That creeps me out. I don't.
This is why I like old houses, because they don't make houses like this anymore.
No, they don't.
So much character in this house.
There's a lot of character, and I'm like, I don't know. Okay, there's the friendly French doors again. Okay. We're back to safety. Ooh. That large crack in the wall doesn't look so good. This house needs a whole heck. Oh, wow. Look at that little hidden curved nook with curved windows. Curved windows with wooden curved shades to them. That would be a good little reading nook for like cards or a little seance.
Yep, seance room.
A big seance room. Okay, we've got that house on deck there. Yeah, so it was definitely a calmer house that was run by a lady who probably didn't want to leave.
Yeah, she's very fiery. So whoever buys that house needs to make sure that he does some offerings to her. Flowers. She's telling me that you always have to have fresh flowers for me.
Wow. I bet so. I love that website. I would have pulled up another listing, but for some reason, I don't know, it was all wackadoodle with the listings. Something with the good old-fashioned internet wasn't working on here. But I love looking into those old houses. And for those out there who are just like practicing their intuition or their mediumship or, whatever divination type of skills you're practicing, looking at listings like that online can be very helpful. Like, you might not be able to confirm it, right? You might not be able to get hard evidence, but what you can do is you can start to go to your intuitive gem and use that and be like, okay, this is what I feel, and pull a tarot card, pull an oracle card.
You can do it with old buildings. You can do it with places. You can do it with land. You can do it with, cemeteries, battlefields. But you can also write. This is what I used to do when I used to teach class on this. We used to write down what we would come up with.
Right? Yes.
And then we would go to the library and we would do a research and we would see how many hits we got.
Yep.
So
I like that.
Or research it somewhere, Google or something, and see, well, who is this woman that keeps coming up? Right. So, or, why is this child energy coming around still? So you can find ways to prove that what you're getting intuitively is accurate
all around,
and it's always fun.
It is really, really fun, because then anytime you go somewhere you're like,
I know
what am I stepping into now on that. Well, Madame Zee, thank you so much for agreeing to come back on the show. We absolutely love you on here, and you're always a delight. You guys go and look her up, connect with her. All of her ways to be connected with are in the notes. No matter if you're listening or watching this, look down in the notes and there you are. But thank you so much. And you guys, we'll be back again with another episode of Haunted Road Trip Show. Remember, y'all, thank you for liking, subscribing, doing all those things that help the podcast out.
Love it.
Remember to visit our website at hauntedroadtripsshow.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. We look forward to seeing you next time. And remember, paranormal history is dying to be heard.